Namaste yogis, Mandy from Private Yoga. Welcome to my back deck. Today we are going to be looking at a runner's practice. So I teach a lot of you who like to run or cycling or any kind of linear activity. So we will do a little 10-minute practice. We're going to start with our props. So you will need a ball. I'm using my son's cricket ball. You'll need a block. Don't worry too much if you don't have one, we can improvise. You'll need a blanket and a strap, or a towel will suffice. So come over onto your mat, place the props off into the front, and we're going to start with releasing the base of your feet. So we'll take the ball, and it's not going to be that fun. You're going to put the ball on the arch of your foot and create some pressure, and just simply roll the ball backwards and forwards. Yeah, you can move it around to the sides. It's kind of like a roll and release start to the class. Once you've finished there, you can come on to the other side, and you'll feel the points in the foot where there's some tension and some tightness. It'll feel yucky. That's an anatomical term, yucky. So keep rolling the foot backwards and forwards. And then we can release and just place the ball off to the side. And we'll grab our blocks, and you can place the block at the front of the mat. And we're going to bring our toes, up onto the block. Now, if you don't have a block, you can simply roll up your mat just to create a little bit of elevation on the balls of the feet, so that when you roll forward, we're creating maximum tension on the hamstrings. So slight bend in the knees and bend from the hips, roll forward, and you can grab onto the opposite elbows and take a little sway from side to side here. And think about the inner thighs spinning backwards so that we get a separation in the sit bones. Now, the tighter your hamstrings are, the more you're going to need to bend your knees. So allow that to happen and just relax the arms down. You can clasp the hands on the back. If you want to work into the shoulders, lift the arms up and over the top of your head. Stay here for 3 breaths. Release the hands back down and slowly roll up to standing. Let's keep our right foot there, and we'll pick up the left foot and step it back so it's 1 meter, pyramid pose. Have your left foot facing the top left corner. We want the pelvis to be in line with the front of the mat. Lift up through the chest, really firm down through the big toe of your front foot, and pull back through this right hip crease. Come forward. And we'll take 2 breaths here. As you breathe out, start to soften the chest down. Engage the core to lift back up, and we'll swap sides. Left foot forward, right foot back, right toes face the top right corner. Square the hip points to the front of the mat with a flat back, come forward. Push down through the big toe of your front foot. You feel like the heel is pulling in towards you. You'll get that stretch on the hamstrings on the back of the thigh. You can do whatever with your hands. You can rest them on the hips, you can clasp them on the back, and roll forward as far as you can go, and take 3 breaths here. So the key is mostly to have the legs straight rather than have your chest down. So if you can only get your chest down by bending the knee, lift back up and straighten the leg out. And if this is as far as you go, then that's as far as you go. Come back up to standing, and we'll roll out the mat, or you can just place the block off to the side. We're going to work into our hip flexors. So generally when you run, the muscles that lift your leg can be really, really strong. So we want to activate them before we stretch them out. We're going to start by lifting up the right leg and place some pressure on that knee. So push down as you lift that leg up, and hold here for 3, for 2, for 1, and release that leg down. Second side, pick up the left leg, press, push up with the knee, high as you can, 3, 2, 1, and relax down. You're going to come down and step your right foot forward And take your left leg as far back as you can. We want the hip points to feel that they're pulling in towards your sternum, and gently bend into your front knee. Now, if you wish to stretch out the Achilles and the calf muscle, you can pull this foot back and bring the knee forward. I like to keep my back toes tucked because it's stable, but if you want to untuck your toes, you can untuck your toes. Leave this right hand by your side or on the knee, and raise up with your left arm and lean over towards the right. And that will facilitate a deep stretch along the psoas muscle and the hip flexors on the left side of your body. Breathe in twice and out. One more time. Bring the left hand down, right hand by your side, and step the knee in, and we'll come forward with the left foot. So again, depending if you're feeling tight in the calf and the Achilles, have the foot back and the knee forward. Otherwise, you can keep the bones stacked, so you get to choose. But the hip points want to pull up. So a lot of us will tilt the hips down, and that will create some compression in the lower back. So pull up, come forward. The left hand can rest on the knee, right arm by your side, and we'll lift that right arm up, and again lean over to the left side, and take 2 breaths here. Bring the arm back up and back onto your knees. Now, if you have any pain in your knees, you can take a rolled up blanket and place it underneath that back leg, so when you step forward. We're now going to use this to help stretch out the calf muscles. And again, this can be really uncomfortable. So take your blanket or your towel and roll it up so it's quite thick. We're going to place the towel firstly on our ankles, and we're going to rest down, and you'll get that compression between the towel and your ankles. And take a breath here. And then lift up and work a little higher, and again sit down. So for some of us this will be really intense on the tops of the feet as well, but stay with me. And one more time, come forward and pull the blanket almost up into the knees, and then sit down again, and you'll feel that compression with the blanket is quite intense. One more breath here. Okay, let's come out of that. Place the blanket off to the front. We can now grab our strap. So you can use the towel or the blanket here, or you can use a belt. For those of you who do my classes regularly, you know that I absolutely love this posture. I call it the hamstring hammock. And we're going to lie down on our backs and keep your left leg bent. Take your right leg up to the sky and place the strap around the ball of your foot. Now the lower back stays on the floor. Draw the toes down towards your face and hold the strap as high as you can towards the foot with straight arms. Now this is your option 1. So if your hamstrings are really tight, you're going to be here. Try to avoid the bend in the knee because it's not going to maximize the stretch. So leg is straight, and for those of you who do have a strap, you can place the strap around the back of your head, and that will help to lengthen the cervical spine and the neck. And you'll get this nice equilibrium between the weight of the foot and the head. And you can straighten out that left leg. Stay here for a couple more breaths. Of course, you could stay here for 5 minutes would be really optimum. And keep the strap on your foot, but take it off the back of your head and hold the strap in the left hand as high as you can. With your right thumb, place it in the crook of your hip and feel that you are externally rotating that hip out. I'm going to stretch onto the outside of the thigh. So the right leg is going to lean over towards the left side. Now again, this is not going to tickle. It's going to be quite uncomfortable, particularly if you are tight in your connective tissues, in your fascia, on the outside of your IT band, or maybe up into your calf, your gastrocnemius. So pull the leg over. I'm just going to hold for a couple of breaths, but you can extend this for as long as you like. Lift the leg back up and Place the right leg on the floor. We'll do the second side, left leg up. Note if one side is different to the other. The more the toes pull down towards the face, the deeper the stretch on the back of the thighs. And you can take that strap, place it behind the back of the head. If you need to adjust because maybe one side's tighter than the other, then adjust the strap or use your belt. And you can straighten out the other leg. Take 2 more breaths here. Strap comes off the back of the head, lay the head down, hold the strap in the right hand, left thumb in the crook of the hip, and lean it over towards the right side. Must keep the back of the pelvis, the sacrum, flat to the floor. Then draw that leg back up, bend the knee in, and place the strap off to the side. You can roll up to seated, and we're going to grab our blocks. Lie back down. Again, you can use a rolled up towel here. We'll lift up and place the block underneath the sacrum and stretch out the legs. So this helps to open the hip flexors passively rather than actively. It's nice and relaxing. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. We'll take another 2 breaths here. Bend the knees in, lift the pelvis, place the block off to the side, lower down and lift both legs up to the sky. And take your right knee over the top of your left. This is reclining cow face pose. With your left hand, grab the outside of the right ankle, and with the right hand, grab the outside of the left. Now sometimes it's really hard to grab that foot. So if you can't, you can use your strap or your belt to pull that foot down. But we're going to lift the ankles up and pull them down in towards us. And you'll get an intense stretch on the glutes. So a couple of breaths here. And release the legs, cross sides, so the knees cross over. The right hand grabs the left ankle and left hand grabs the right. Lift up and pull down. So I know that this is my tighter side, so it's a bit more difficult. Really push the lower back onto the floor so the back stays heavy. And release the legs, straighten out, arms by your side. Close down your eyes. And you can take a Shavasana for as long as you like. I think 5 minutes should be a good minimum. It just helps to let the energetic body start to slow down. Mandy from Private Yoga Brisbane. Thank you everybody. Enjoy your running.